Let's check out another Native American pipe tomahawk. It has a very large head, a kind of flattened haft, if you can see that, and of course the common and popular decorative feature of brass tacks. It's from the Northern Plains, don't know the exact tribe. The wood is ash and the head is pewter, so not meant for use. Well, in battle, that is. Love the look of the tacks up close. Also the nice rustic shaping of the metal on the actual head. So this one was definitely a functioning pipe and probably ceremonial object. In other videos I've delved into the controversy of, were all pipe tomahawks by necessity and by default only ceremonial. The most notable feature of this hawk probably stood out to you at the start of the video, which is the heart-shaped punched out of the blade. That is probably a subject worthy of its own video, a real deep dive video at some point. But for now, let me say that, one, you'll see these on a lot of old Native American tomahawks. And two, there is no universally accepted answer, this one answer, on how it originated or what it stands for. And three, as far as I can tell, I'm not an expert here, as far as I can tell, it's almost certainly of European origin. Just like metal tomahawk heads in and of themselves were brought in from Europe and became very popular with Native Americans, so too certain shapes and symbols, like this here, the spontoon tomahawk, clearly, artistic European inspiration at play. The two cultures influenced each other in a variety of ways. Hence tomahawks like this, or this one here, which is the thumbnail from a video on my channel, one I showed years ago. And then sometimes, though, you have the opposite. You have just completely parallel development of a certain visual design, like with this next video of mine, see that thumbnail? And that's a indigenous Native American symbol that happens to look exactly like what we would call a swastika, which has a long and complicated history of its own from the other side of the world. Of course, eventually being co-opted by the Nazis. But back to our heart punched out shape. It was definitely a popular motif. Here it is on a different tomahawk, a different antique pipe tomahawk like ours. And as you can tell from just the two examples we've looked at so far, there was variation in the shape. This one is noticeably different from the one we're looking at in our main tomahawk today. This one is much curvier, and it's also different at the top too. That indentation is a lot shallower. And remember I said this device almost surely came from Europe. So here you see an axe, clearly not a Native American tomahawk, and it's got the shape on each of its two heads. Assuming this was a transplant motif, it did become very popular then. So it is not hard to go online and find examples of tomahawks with this shape punched through there, including on important ones like this one here. This was owned by Chief Standing Bear. He was a chief of the Ponca, P-O-N-C-A, from Nebraska and Oklahoma. And in 1879, Standing Bear won a court case, and it made him one of the very first Native Americans granted civil rights. And Standing Bear gave this very hawk that we're looking at, and you can see it's really similar to ours in terms of the shape. He gave it to one of his lawyers as a thank you gift. It ended up in a museum at Harvard, and it was given back to the tribe just 2 years ago, 2022. A mini history lesson I just wanted to squeeze in. If you're interested in these, it's really easy to find examples. Just search for a weeping heart or a bleeding heart tomahawk online. And as you can see in this picture, of course, the algorithm gives you a bunch of garbage, but every tomahawk it shows you is the right kind. And now back to the item itself. Nice up-close view, stem to stern, and we will sign off. Thanks for watching.